The first time I saw her, she stood on the ridge above Outpost Meridian like a monument carved from moonlight. The settlement floodlights stretched her silhouette long across the red dust, making her seem even taller than her already unusual height. Her skin, a muted silver blue, glowed faintly beneath the twin suns. Nobody at the outpost ever approached her. They just watched from a distance, whispering theories about where she had come from or who she used to be. But there was one fact everyone agreed on. She had no name. Or rather, she had one, but no one could hold it in their memory. The moment she spoke it aloud, the sound dissipated from every listener's mind as if the syllables were made of smoke. Even recordings failed. Audio files corrupted instantly whenever she tried. Perfect mystery. And mysteries had always been my weakness. I, Arlen Voss, historian of the Interstellar Anthropological Corps, had been assigned to Outpost Meridian for 6 months before I worked up the courage to speak to her. The settlers called her the visitor because she never harmed anyone and rarely interacted, but she watched the outpost with an intensity that made many uncomfortable. She was observing something, maybe everything. One evening, as the suns dipped low behind the jagged cliffs, I climbed the ridge to meet her. My boots sank softly into the iron-rich dust. She didn't turn her head, but I felt her awareness sweep toward me like a silent wave. "You have been wanting to speak," she said. Her voice was calm, melodic, resonating faintly in my bones, the way deep radio frequencies sometimes did. "I have questions," I answered. "You all do." I hesitated before stepping closer. Her eyes, large and dark luminescent, finally met mine. In them I saw reflections of distant nebulae, as if they held memories of horizons no human had witnessed. "What should I call you?" I asked. A soft wind tugged at the fabric of her cerulean garments. She folded her hands in front of her. "You may try," she said, "but you won't keep it." She spoke then, 3 syllables, gentle yet resonant, like the chiming of glass underwater. The moment the sound passed, my mind failed to grasp it. The memory blurred, slipped, dissolved. She nodded knowingly. "See. Not meant for your kind." I swallowed, more fascinated than frustrated. "Then how does anyone communicate with you?" "Without a name. You don't need a name to understand someone." She turned toward the horizon. Conversation ended. I walked back to the outpost that night with more questions than answers. Weeks passed. I made it a ritual to climb the ridge at dusk, bringing water canisters or nutrient packs to leave beside her. She rarely touched them, but once she nodded in acknowledgement. Gradually she spoke more cryptic statements about the memoryless cycle, about the echoes between worlds. I wrote down everything, though much remained vague. Then came the night that changed everything. A tremor shook the settlement. A deep hum filled the air, vibrating up from the bedrock. Alarms blared across Meridian as sensors detected a massive energy spike beneath the ridge. I ran for higher ground, and when I reached the top, she was there, kneeling, palms pressed into the earth. Blue-white lines of light spiderwebbed outward from her hands into the soil. "What are you doing?" I shouted above the roar of the tremor. "Containing what sleeps," she replied. "The veiled core stirs. Your people do not know what lies beneath." My heart pounded. "You're protecting us." For now, echoed. She stood, the glowing lines fading as the ground fell silent again. Her chest rose and fell with something close to fatigue. "You shouldn't be here," she said. "Your kind were never meant to settle this moon. The core reaches for consciousness, and when it awakens fully, names, souls will unravel." Her words chilled me. "How do you know this? How long have you been here?" She looked at me with something like sorrow. Longer than your species has carved fire from stone. Before I could speak, she began to turn away, but something inside me rebelled against the endless unknowns. Please, I said. Tell me your name again. She exhaled, a gesture I'd rarely seen from her. You cannot hold it. Let me try. She gazed at me for a long, searching moment. Then softly she spoke the name once more. But this time, this impossible world-shifting time, I remembered. The syllables didn't dissolve. They struck something deep within me, a memory I didn't know I had. The sound reverberated through my mind like a key fitting an ancient lock. She froze. Slowly, mechanically, she turned back toward me. Her luminous eyes widened, and for the first time since I'd known her, her expression betrayed pure shock. You remember it, she whispered. You should not be able to. I repeated the name aloud. She stepped back as if struck. Impossible. No human brain can retain that frequency. Unless. Her gaze sharpened, piercing through me. Unless you were altered. I wasn't, I said. Not intentionally. I don't understand. She circled me with sudden urgency. The veiled core has touched you. When you approached during the tremor, perhaps it extended a tendril of awareness. It recognizes you. It marked you. Cold shiver ran through me. Why me? What does it want? Connection, she said. The core is a sentient lattice older than this world. Consumes identity, names, memories, meaning. I came here to contain it. But if it has chosen you. She stopped. Then she went silent. Everything about her, her posture, her breathing, her expression, simply ceased. She stared at me as if listening to something beyond the physical realm. Tell me what's happening, I urged. Slowly her voice returned, but hollow like an echo stretched thin. The core is speaking through you. It believes you can carry its awakening without fracturing. I do not understand why. She reached out, placing her hand over my chest. Her touch was surprisingly warm. And now I cannot protect you. The ground rumbled again, faint but growing. Meridian's alarm lights blinked in the distance. Can it be stopped? Yes. It can be guided, she said quietly. If you let me anchor your mind to mine. If you trust me. I trust you. She nodded once. The world dissolved into blinding blue. When my senses returned, I stood at the edge of a luminous subterranean expanse. The core pulsed like a living star embedded in crystal tendrils. Beside me, she hovered slightly above the ground, her form wavering. We are inside the threshold of consciousness, she said. Speak your truth. The core listens through you. I stepped forward. The presence pressed against my thoughts. Immense, curious, ancient. You spoke. About humanity. About meaning. About the fragile beauty of minds that forget but strive anyway. The core pulsed, flickering through colors like shifting emotions. Finally it receded. The vision collapsed. I awoke on the ridge again, gasping. The tremors had stopped. The silence was complete. She sat beside me, staring at the horizon. It sleeps again, she said. And now it knows mercy. Will it stay dormant? For a long while, she answered. Long enough. I turned to her. And you? I remain. But you have changed. You carry its mark, but also its trust. You remembered my name because your mind resonates with the core's frequency now. She looked almost human when she smiled faintly. Say it again. I did. She closed her eyes, letting the sound settle into the twilight. No one, she whispered, has ever remembered it before. As the twin suns dipped below the cliffs, we sat together in silence. No longer strangers, no longer bound by forgotten names, but connected by the ancient heartbeat of a world that had finally chosen to dream instead of awaken.